Welcome to SRJC News, a production of the Media 19 multi-camera studio class. Today is Tuesday, December 5th, 2017.
Hi, I'm Lariva.
And I'm Aurelia. Thanks for joining us today. Let's get started.
In an effort to help Sonoma County heal from the recent North Bay fires, Santa Rosa Junior College held a special Day of Remembrance at Bailey Field on October 28th. Those in attendance included numerous first responders as well as hundreds of North Bay fire victims. Following the coverage that day, I interviewed SRJC students and faculty about their own ways of healing from the fires. Let's take a look.
We're not going to cut out the graphic language, so it's really not appropriate for children if you're watching on Facebook Live. Sheriff 1, stand for, we're doing a carry out. Ready? Hold on. Put the house on fire. Let's go. Hold on, you gotta get her up. Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Frank Chong. I have the honor of being the Superintendent President of Santa Rosa Junior College, and on behalf of my Board of Trustees, my faculty, staff, and our over 28,000 students and millions of alumni, I want to welcome you to Bailey Field.
The only way, as you know, forward is to look a bit back. And we are going to do that in a way that I think is the most respectful that we can be to those that we lost over the course of the fires in the last 20 days. It will ring out 42 times for the number of souls that were lost in the North Bay wildfires.
In the aftermath of the October firestorm, there's been concern from the county's mental health community about the long-term health consequences fire victims will experience. This has resulted in an increase in information about mental health resources available to fire survivors, first responders, and the community at large. In an interview by J.D. Morris of the Press-Democrat, Sonoma County Supervisor and Board Chairwoman Shirley Zane said, "Grief is normal, but a lot of people are experiencing overwhelming grief. It's not just losing an item, losing things. It's losing a life that you built with your family, and that's a profound loss."
My name is Miles Levine. I was an SRJC student for 4 years. This is the first semester I've taken off, and my family was affected by the Tubbs fire. I've still been spending a lot of time with the filmmaking community. We've all met each other through the various filmmaking classes, and whether it be screenwriting or digital film. I get messages pretty regularly from members of that community who say, "Hey, let's get out there and let's document this. Let's go to Coffee Park. Let's at least go through Fountain Grove and see it." It's been, I think, sort of the go-to healing technique for many of us to want to experience it through a lens, whether that makes it easier or whether the concept of creating something helps us to rise from the ashes, helps us to heal ourselves. And I think there's hope that some of us feel we hope we can heal each other by creating something out of destruction. And for others, it's been a very tough thing to do.
Did you notice an increase in students and or staff that came here after the fires?
Yeah, actually the first week or two when school started, we had about a 100% increase in the number of students that were coming in.
What kind of suggestions do you have for healing?
I think it depends on the person, and there isn't one right answer to say this is the right thing for everybody. There are some general ideas that can often be helpful for different people, and that is to spend time with people that you find are good to be around. For those people, those students who are finding that despite doing any of those things, they continue to struggle, then getting some professional help can be useful.
Reminders are all around us of ways to heal and decrease levels of stress in the county since the wildfires. Symbols and rituals have served as comforting reminders to strengthen spirit and community during these difficult times. Members of families and organizations rely on their bonds to make themselves stronger.
Thank you so much. Awesome. I believe you're being able to jump from that camera to that camera.
And ultimately, one reporter and a cameraman and a truck can send messages of healing and resilience to a large audience throughout Sonoma County and the rest of the world.
And it seems SRJC isn't the only district coming together after these devastating fires, as community members of Coffee Park have recently been seen putting up Christmas decoration in their neighborhood as a symbol for hope. One of these families include May Salido and her three children who were spotted setting up a Christmas tree where their house once stood. Salido has encouraged other neighbors to participate in an effort to help move forward from the fires. Death Okrepke, chairman of Coffee Strong, also embraced the movement, stating the Christmas decorations say, "Hey, we're still here. We're going to be back and we'll still have our neighborhood."
In other news, a video that was recently posted on Snapchat has caused quite a stir lately, as it shows a teenage boy throwing a kitten across a street. The video shows the teenager carelessly dangling the cat around before violently throwing it down towards the pavement. The Ontario Police Department are investigating the video and say the 16-year-old boy, only identified as Charlie, has yet to be found. However, the cat has been treated and returned to its owners. Those that have watched the video and the owners themselves hope that whoever is responsible is found and ultimately charged with animal abuse.
And if you're looking for something more lighthearted and enjoyable to cap off your week with, every Friday Zach Rhodes and other local artists put together scavengers hunts by hiding their art throughout Sonoma County. Those who participate have the lucky opportunity to win the artwork provided. Here is more on the subject with Zach himself.
Hello, my name is Zach Rhodes, and I innovated Free Art Friday in Sonoma County. I took a road trip to Austin, and within the realm of being there was a bunch of artists doing it, and I thought it was really cool. I just had a lot of art that nobody was buying and nobody was seeing, and it was just collecting dust in my house, and I decided to just start giving away art. When I first started, it seemed like no one really remembered, or there weren't a lot of artists doing it, so I put on Instagram, like, if anyone wants to do this with me, like, it's totally cool, like, I encourage it, like, it's not my thing. I borrowed it too, you know? And then all of a sudden, people like Dom Chi were doing it, and it just, like, blew up. I think it opened up a lane for artists who aren't quite confident in themselves, or have a following, or know what they're doing, or, you know, they just do it for fun, but no one really sees it. And so it's kind of like, it's welcoming for all skill levels, whether you've been doing it for 10 years or you just started.
Hey, I'm Andres Fernandez. We're currently in ISO High Studios, and this is my art. Follow me on Instagram, that's atrain_art. I've been an artist my entire life. I'm self-taught, and, you know, it relaxes me, and I enjoy doing it. I decided to hide my artwork mainly to, you know, increase my following, get some exposure, and gift people some cool art. So I try to hide it in like a relatively easy place so they can actually get it. You don't want to make it some impossible task because that defeats the purpose. As far as mediums, I use acrylic. I use a lot of acrylic. I'm getting into watercolor. I also do Copic markers and anything that's fun, pretty much.
Fantastic work, fellas. And now here's Johnny for your local weather and report and 10 days forecast.
Thank you, Aurelia. And this is the highest that will be. In California, we're looking at like a little bit more in the 50s area. Unlike the East Coast, that's more in the 70s. And up north, it's getting colder, more around the 20s. And this would be the lowest temperatures, more in like the morning time and the evening. And luckily, just wear your sweater and you won't be too sick. And over here we have our Monday. We starting with 65 and it should be around like the same, not rising too much. And then just a little bit cloudy. And it should just be some cold weather, dry, not too wet. And right now we'll go back to Aurelia with the sports.
Well, both the SRJC men and women basketball teams have reached their respective midway points in the season, with the men's team carrying 4 wins and only 2 losses to their record, as they now head out for the Foothill tournament. Meanwhile, the women's team suffered a tough loss against the Cerritos College Falcons back on December 1st. With 8 combined 3-pointers between each team, the game came down to the wire when Falcons' Jessica Rendon hit an 18 field goal with only 3 seconds left on the clock to ultimately send the Falcons over the Beer Club 66-63.
Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. We hope you've enjoyed our broadcast, and we wish you a safe holiday break.
Thanks for
You've been watching SRJC News, a production of the Media 19 multi-camera studio class. Today is December 5th, 2017.